Rule number 1. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. One of the most important, if not the most important practices of Stoic philosophy is the understanding that there is very little within the reach of our control. Almost everything that goes on around us in the year 2024 will happen despite our efforts to stop it, and it's up to us to come to terms with the things we can change and the things we can't. Aurelius emphasizes that our true power lies in managing our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. By concentrating our efforts on these aspects, we become more resilient, accountable, and efficient. Mastering our inner world equips us to respond more effectively to external circumstances, often leading to positive outcomes. Conversely, when our attention is fixated on external events, we attempt to exert control over aspects of life beyond our reach. This can lead to frustration, ineffectiveness, and instability in our well-being. Echoing this sentiment, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus stated, "Our natural freedom, independence, and strength lie within our realm of control. Outside of this, we become weak, restricted, and reliant. Placing your hopes in things you can't control and assuming responsibilities that belong to others sets you up for disappointment, hardship, and unjust blame towards gods and people." Rule number 2. The second rule to bear in mind if you desire a prosperous 2024 is this: it's silly to try to escape other people's faults. They are inescapable. Just try to escape your own. On the topic of control, the actions and behaviors of other people are beyond our direct influence. While some might argue that one can control others through force, manipulation, or coercion, the truth is that individuals always have the choice in how they respond. And true control is never absolute. The attitudes, beliefs, values, biases, and perceptions of others are not within our control. Therefore, it's necessary to learn to accept them. Marcus Aurelius suggests that we cannot avoid interactions with people whose views we oppose or find difficult. Our only option is to accept their presence in our lives, thereby minimizing their impact on our peace of mind, while focusing on our personal development to behave in ways that resonate with our own identity. Adding to this, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus uses the analogy of a fig tree. Expecting a fig tree to produce oranges is foolish, as it is in its nature to bear figs. This should be accepted as such. In the same vein, individuals act according to their own values and beliefs, and this should be accepted as part of their nature. Rule number 3. The third rule to bear in mind in 2024 is this: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Obstacles in our path don't necessarily have to be viewed as hindrances, but rather as new opportunities. Adopting this viewpoint reduces the weight of what appears to be barriers and allows us to perceive them as avenues for progress. They often come with valuable lessons, beneficial experiences, and challenges that can fortify our character. The full passage is as follows: "In one respect, man is the nearest thing to me, so far as I must do good to men and endure them. But so far as some men make themselves obstacles to my proper acts, man becomes to me one of the things which are indifferent, no less than the sun or wind or a wild beast. Now it is true that these may impede my action, but they are no impediments to my affects and disposition, which have the power of acting conditionally and changing. For the mind converts and changes every hindrance to its activity into an aid, and so that which is a hindrance is made a furtherance to an act, and that which is an obstacle on the road helps us on this road." Rule number 4. If something outside of you is causing you distress, it's not the thing itself that's painful, but rather your perception of it. You have the ability to change this perception at any time. The Stoics taught that suffering often stems from our interpretation of events, not the events themselves. Take a traffic jam, for instance. Some people become upset and suffer because they expect to be moving, not stationary. However, their suffering isn't caused by the traffic. It's their belief that they should be moving, their expectation of no traffic, and the fear of the consequences of being late that intensifies their distress. In truth, traffic is just a neutral aspect of driving. It's neither good nor bad, but simply a part of the driving experience. We might encounter it, or we might not. The choice lies in accepting this standstill as something beyond our control and deciding how to use the time, or in allowing our expectations and beliefs to color the situation and lead to suffering. This concept applies broadly from mundane situations like driving or weather conditions to more significant aspects like job interviews, economic changes, or others' actions. A person who realizes that their interpretation of an event shapes their reaction to it can not only alter their viewpoint in the moment, but also, as a consequence, is likely to experience less suffering. Rule number 5. You always have the choice to refrain from forming an opinion. There's no necessity to become agitated or disturb your inner peace over things beyond your control. These matters don't require your judgment. Let them be. Marcus Aurelius's teaching is increasingly pertinent today, especially in our digital age. With social media and the vast amount of information at our fingertips, we are constantly bombarded with various viewpoints, news, human rights issues, belief systems, natural disasters, social causes, and more. This is in addition to the direct experiences in our own lives, like work, relationships, health, finances, mental health, and daily life challenges. We don't need to form opinions on everything we encounter or judge everything we see. It's important to be selective about where we direct our time and energy. Without this selectiveness, we run the risk of overextending ourselves and forming superficial opinions based on limited information, both of which can lead to problems. Choosing deliberately what to form strong opinions on and what to invest our care in not only safeguards our well-being, but also enables us to concentrate effectively on a few chosen areas, rather than spreading ourselves too thin across many. This focused approach leads to more competent engagement in the areas we deem significant. Rule number 6. Start your day with this reminder. Today I will encounter obstacles, ungratefulness, disrespect, betrayal, malice, and selfishness, all rooted in people's misunderstanding of what is right or wrong. However, I understand the true essence of good and its dignity, as well as the pettiness of evil. I recognize that the person causing these difficulties is my fellow human, sharing the same capacity for reason and a part of the divine. Thus, these troubles cannot harm me, nor can they force me into disgrace. I cannot hold resentment against my fellow human, as we are both meant to collaborate in this world, much like our own hands, feet, eyelids, or teeth work in unison. To hinder each other is contrary to nature, and feelings of annoyance or dislike are simply forms of resistance. In Meditations, Aurelius consistently displays profound compassion and understanding towards others. He illustrates his perception of ignorance in people as a source of their negative actions. According to him, it's not that individuals intentionally choose to be harmful. Rather, their values, beliefs, and past experiences subconsciously lead to such behavior because they don't know any better. Those who act without self-awareness are shaped by their surroundings until they recognize how their past influences their current behavior. Rule number 7. The final rule to bear in mind in 2024 is this: time is akin to a flowing river composed of events, ever moving and forceful. As soon as one event is witnessed, it is swept away, only to be replaced by another, which too will soon be carried off. A central concept in Meditations is the inevitability of change. The universe and everything in it is constantly transforming. Wood must burn to give heat. Food must be consumed to sustain us. People evolve over time and circumstances shift. Expecting things to remain static goes against the very nature of our universe. As Aurelius notes, as soon as something arrives, it is soon replaced by something else. Our best approach is to embrace change, accepting it as a natural part of life and appreciating the benefits it brings. Bear these 7 rules in mind and practice them as instructed, and you will be surprised how different this year is going to be for you compared to the previous years. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I will see you again in the next one.